It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The Adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Hi, I'm John Malice. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Today, the focus is on business. And we're going to talk about a business that's in Madera. It's been around for a little while, and it's an old-fashioned what? You'll find out. Hey, the phone number is, if you want to call in, and we'll talk about that during the monologue, but it's 436-MeTV option 11, and we'll talk about the phone number and then the business segment today here on Connect with Me in a moment.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me on a Tuesday morning, and the focus, of course, is on business here on one of your favorite stations, MeTV Fresno, of course. And, you know, before we get into our monologue segment today, I do want to mention a couple of things about yesterday's program and then our phone system here. So we had a couple of guests yesterday, Eldon Morris, who was a great guest talking about Chance Field, and then we had Ron Mortanian giving some tickets away to his event that's taking place on September the 19th at the Armenian Home. It's part of the Reach for Stars program. A bunch of stars from Hollywood will be here. Some of the stars from yesteryear, some of the ones that you may see here on MeTV, like Ronnie Shell, who used to play on Gomer Pyle. That would be on September the 19th. So anyway, Ron was here. He was giving away 3 pairs of tickets, and we had a caller by the name of Arlene who called in, and she got disconnected. And I made some kind of a flippant comment that was all in fun, all in joking, and you know, she didn't take too kindly to it that she was cut off. Well, she eventually got her tickets, and we're glad about that because Ron Mortanian hooked her up. Ron's a good guy. So Ron's going to come back before the 19th again to try to promote his event in September. And if he does, hey, we encourage Arlene and all of you to call in and pick up a new pair of free tickets as well. Arlene got her 2 tickets. Arlene, next time Ron is on, you want to call in, we'll give you 2 more. How's that? So our apologies to Arlene. And the fact of the matter is that got word and information yesterday about our phone line here. I don't know how the phone works during the program for obvious reasons. I'm here at the desk hosting the program, the show. So the better part of our program is dedicated to our callers who call in and they ask questions of the guest. They ask questions of me. That's why it's called Connect with Me. We're trying to connect with you. But if we're having problems with the phone system, if you're having problems getting in, we understand a whole host of callers, maybe up to a dozen, got cut off yesterday as soon as they called in. So I don't know if it's the phone system. I don't know if it's been going on for a while. But it is 436-MeTV. Option 11, if you're getting cut off when you call in, please let us know. We'll try to fix it. I've already alerted our management here at Connect with Me that there is an issue or a problem with the phone. Some callers getting just cut off yesterday right at the knees before they could even get into the system. Am I a phone expert? No. I have no idea what the problem is if there is a problem. Anyway, our phone number 436-MeTV option 11. We'll stick with that number for just the time being here today. But time to talk about what channel we're on. For now, it's going to be Comcast Channel 187. That will soon change sometime in August, the latter part of August, the 25th or so. It'll go to 375. And then over-the-air broadcast on the antenna, it's 43.6 or 13.1, 8.1 as well. And then later, the replay comes at 2 o'clock on 13.6 U2. And then, of course, 8 o'clock at night on 4.8 6Biz TV, so a couple of options during the day if you want to watch the replay. And then the Twitter account is the very same as it's always been, and it will stay that way for a while. So remember, if you have a problem with the phone, let us know. 436-MeTV option 11. In the meantime, let's move on with our program. We're getting long in this segment. Remember the old-fashioned butcher shops from way back in the 1960s and the 1970s? You know, the ones that your mom and dad used to, you know, take that trek down the corner. You know, the corner supermarket, not really a supermarket, but an old-fashioned, you know, just a family-owned business that had a butcher shop. Remember that? Let's roll the videotape, and I'll take you back in time, my friends. You thought they had gone by the wayside like the dinosaurs. Not true. You're looking at Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. Old-fashioned, yes, just like the one you remember as a kid, but in the last few decades, the so-called artesian butchers have watched a slow decline of their trade, and of course the younger generation has no interest in keeping the ball rolling, at least some don't. The owner here is Scott Chase, new to the industry, well, fairly new, 4 years in running now after buying the Chop Shop from artesian butcher Bill McCann, who relocated to the Bay Area. According to Chase, there used to be slaughterhouses in every little tiny town between Hanford and Madera. Now his is the only place in 45 miles that slaughters animals for ranchers. Wow, that's amazing. Say, look at the video there. That's like the old-fashioned butcher shops. Talk about the mom and pop shops going by the wayside, though. It seems like shoppers these days want assembly food line. They want it quick, they want it fast. They're offered by deli and meat counters at chain stores like Winco's and Save Mart supermarkets, even Costco. But are the old-fashioned butcher shops making a comeback? Who's bringing them back? I don't know. Maybe we'll get some answers today from Chase. He's got both his sons working at the Chop Shop, 22-year-old and a 19-year-old. Seems like the family-owned shops know exactly which cut to make, how to make it. They cut it to size, they cut it to perfection, and to your liking. They know how to cut it precisely. Live in our studio now is Scott Chase, the owner of Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. Yep, an old-fashioned butcher shop, almost like walking back into time, the 60s and the 70s. It's not located in Fresno, though. You got to go to Madera, just up the road on Highway 99, about 15 minutes or so. Not a very difficult drive, I might add. So once again, the phones, 436-MeTV option 11. Hopefully, if you try to call in today, the system won't kick you out. But if it does, let us know. We'll be back with our program in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
So I did say artesian, didn't I, Scott? Instead of artisan, right?
Correct.
Sorry about that. All right. Hey, slip of the tongue there. Good to see you, Scott Chase. How are you?
I'm well.
I like the butcher shops.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice out there. So, you know, let's roll the videotape. I do want to talk a little bit about some of the customers that you have out there. And I talked in the monologue, of course, about the fact that, you know, these butcher shops may be going by the wayside. There's the front there. These are some of the customers that come in to your shop. Are you seeing a lot of customers come in, Scott, that are regulars?
We do have a lot of regulars. The growth of new customers is pretty fantastic. We see a lot of new people that have never even heard of our type of shop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so where are the new customers coming from? Are they coming from outside the area, would you say? Or
I think our Clovis, Fresno are really good to us. We do have a lot of people from the north, Chowchilla, Merced.
Uh-huh. So Chowchilla isn't that far away, of course. It's only about, what, 10 minutes?
Just about, yes.
10 or 15 minutes. So why, tell me why you wanted to continue this tradition of old style and old fashioned butcher shops. That's you right there, right, behind the counter? Or it was a moment ago.
Yes.
Why do you want to continue? Give us the long version explanation as to why.
Well, for us, it's more of a passion. My wife and I went to Italy years ago and just saw the lifestyle of the way they live there and the daily shopping. So we looked for something that was a little different than what we were doing in the past. And in doing that, we found that the meat industry doesn't have, it's not like most things where you have 1,000 competitors. It's something that's dying, it's something that is unique, and we really thought that it would be interesting to work towards a product that we can put out there that you can't find anywhere else.
You don't have any competition, do you, really?
No real direct competition. We're very unique in our sausage making, our specialty products, and then the ranch butchery.
Yeah. So who's your competition? Where does it come from? Does it come from the big chains, do you think?
Absolutely. The daily shopper will go to the big chains prior to coming to see us. They just, like I said, they're not aware that there are butcher shops like ours.
Yeah, and so what's the difference? Let's say I'm in a hurry, and everybody's in a hurry nowadays, as you well know. Everybody's on a tight schedule with kids and work and all that kind of stuff, and they want to go in, whether it's Costco or anybody else. Everybody is getting the pre-packaged material. I call it material. It's food, okay, meat, whatever you want to call it, and they want to grab it, throw it in a cart, and go. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to anybody. So when you live that kind of lifestyle, what do you get? What are you shortchanging yourself on by not going to a shop like yours?
The quality of the product is just so different than what you can get from a typical box store. Our aging process is what's different. Getting exactly what you're looking for. Getting the cuts that you're looking for. We have so many different cuts that we offer that a typical box store won't offer to you. So budget-wise, you may be looking for a ribeye, but there's other options that we can put out there that will feed the whole family for less money and is just as good of a cut, but the box stores just don't offer. When it comes to prepackaged items, you know, we satisfy that end too. We do have a lot of marinated products that are ready to go, bagged, ready to go on the grill. So that leads to our sausages. We have 52 different sausages, so we can put sausages out there. It's great appetizers. Once again, you can come in, grab something out of the freezer, and it'll be ready to go for dinner that night.
Yeah. So the difference between you and, say, Costco or Save Mart is that, yeah, you offer ribeye, they offer ribeye, but the difference is if somebody wants a ribeye cut to their liking or perfection, you can do that.
Absolutely. We cut it to the exact specs that you're looking for. If you want an 1.5 inch ribeye, that's what you're going to get. You don't have to come in and select it from a bunch of containers and hope that you get what you want.
How do you know it's 1.5 inches?
I have a tape measure.
You got it precisely. You can cut it precisely, huh? 1.5 inches
Yes.
or 1 inch or however thin or thick that you want, right?
Yes, we can. We actually, I mean, we can do a by eyeball now, but typically, like I said, it comes out to your exact specs. And fat trim. I mean, when you're looking at the trim on a steak, I mean, not everybody likes a big, heavy fat trim, so, you know, we're able to trim it down to what the customer would like.
Yeah, you've been doing it so long, you could probably do it with your eyes shut, right? You know exactly what 1 inch or 1.5 inches is, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, all right. Scott Chase is here. He is the owner of Chase's Chop Shop in Madera, 436-MeTV, option 11. If you do have a problem with the phones, let us know. If it's kicking you out of the system, like it did yesterday to several of our callers, then call in and let us know. In the meantime, this is the Focus on Business. You can call in and weigh in back in a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
We need help to find this missing child. Patrick Alford was 8 when he went missing. He was last seen in Brooklyn, New York in January of 2010. This is what we believe he looks like today at age 12. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Patrick Alford home.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Back here with Scott Chase. I don't know if you and your family go to the old-fashioned butcher shops anymore. They're hard to find up and down the Central Valley, but there is one in Madera called Chase's Chop Shop. How long has that been around, Scott? I know you've only owned it, what, 4 years?
Nearly 5 years, and it was originally built in 1948. It was originally Gus's Meat Locker.
Gus's Meat Locker?
Correct.
Wow. How apropos. Had nothing to do with a mobster, right?
No.
All right. No mafia connection. All right. I just wanted to make sure here. Hey, I do have an email question here before I get to some more video. What inspires your guest in creativity in the sausage making process? We're not going to show the sausage making process right now, but okay, we're going to take the phone call? All right. We got a phone call here. What do you know? All right, caller, go ahead. You're on the air with Scott Chase.
You haven't even talked about those tri-tip sandwiches yet. I can make it my breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight snack.
Yeah.
Why don't you do a little bit of bragging about the tri-tip sandwiches? Because, man, there's nothing like them.
All right. Go ahead,
Well,
Scott.
thank you. Tri-tip sandwiches. We make 4 different tri-tip sandwiches in our deli. Our Bloody Mary tri-tip, which is a tri-tip sandwich with blue cheese mayo, arugula, and roasted red peppers. We also do a black label tri-tip. It's got mushrooms, sauteed mushrooms, and a whiskey mayo mayonnaise with that. We do our Gus's Original, which is similar to the sandwich that we inherited when we bought the business, and it's got your barbecue sauce, your lettuce, wax peppers, and as well as we have the Chase's Original, which has, let's see, it has sauteed onions and bell peppers, and then a unique barbecue sauce that we pick up from a local vendor.
Wow, so those are primarily the 4. And how popular are those?
Oh, very popular. Yeah, tri-tip seems to be the most popular thing.
Really? With the customers?
Absolutely, yeah. Tri-tip.
Because why?
I think in the Central Valley, I think that you find that everybody here knows tri-tip.
Yeah.
It is very unique. Our valley is different than most places. I mean, growing up on the coast, I had never even heard of a tri-tip. I moved over here about 20 years ago, and the very first sandwich I had was a tri-tip sandwich, and fell in love with them then.
Yeah, what is it that customers want the most when they come in? Is the tri-tip the #1 asked for product?
Tri-tip's the staple of everything, but at the same time, no. Our sausages are. Customers come in for the sausage.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but I want to get through the process here of how you make and package and everything else. So the email question: what inspires your creativity? That's an email question.
On the sausage?
Well, just about anything that you make.
You know, we love to eat. I mean, that's one of the things as a family. We love to go out and eat and see different cultures, different foods.
Well, you don't have a weight problem, it doesn't look like. Your wife doesn't either. I mean, the whole family's pretty thin there, so you must be doing something right. I don't know what.
That definitely is one of the things is you go out and you see different cultures, and we pull things from everybody. We make a pico de gallo sausage. So we just like to see what other things are out there, what other foods. Any kind of food could be turned into a sausage pretty much. I mean, the flavor profiles are what you're looking for. And when it comes to our marinades, something that's, meets everybody's need.
Yeah. So, when you go to the coast, let's say, for example, if you take a trip to Pismo or Monterey, do you come back and maybe try something that you had seen over there?
Oh, absolutely.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
We run test runs weekly on new products. There's definitely some products off the coast that we've been trying to emulate that we haven't gotten right yet. And that's part of the fun, is just going through and writing recipes, trying them, and trying to get them to perfection.
Yeah. So, okay, let's roll a videotape, and that is hanging the meat. I want to roll. Okay, what's going? Obviously, I know what's going on. You're hanging the meat, but what's the purpose here, and why?
This is for our custom slaughter customers. That's a quarter of beef right there, and there's some hanging half beef. We age it for between 10 to 14 days, and the the aging process will actually bring out the tenderness and the flavor of the natural beef.
Okay. Every time I see hanging meat like this, you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
What would you think? The movie Rocky.
Oh yes, of course.
You got nobody in the meat locker there with a pair of gloves going at it, though, huh? Pounding the meat? No, that doesn't happen.
No pounding the meat.
All right, and what? So what's the purpose? Is it aging? Is that what you're doing? You're aging the meat like you're aging a bottle of wine. Similar?
Similar. You're aging it for tenderness. You want to take down and break the meat down just a little bit so it is more tender when you go to cut it with a knife.
Okay, so it's all about being tender.
Exactly.
And does it have anything to do with the taste?
The time of age will definitely change the taste. A shorter hang will give you tenderness. A long hang will actually give you that dry age taste, which is
not as tender.
It's actually more tender, but very distinct. You'll either love it or hate it.
Okay, we'll go to the next process here, and that's cutting meat. We got about 3 videos of the meat cutting process, and you go through here and explain what we're looking at here, because I don't know what the process is. You have professional cutting machines there, right?
Yes, that's our bandsaw. That's actually my son Jordan, my oldest boy.
How old is he?
He's 22.
Good.
And he's breaking down a hog for one of our custom customers. So he actually went out and slaughtered this hog for a customer, and then the customer will give us their cut instructions. We'll go through and break it down from the entire carcass and go through and give them each cut that they would like to take home.
So your son, and his name is?
Jordan.
Jordan. So Jordan actually went out and slaughtered this animal?
That is correct.
For a rancher?
Yes.
Okay, how many businesses do that?
In the immediate 45, 50 miles, we're the only one.
You're the only one, like
Correct.
I said in the monologue, right? You're the only one that provides that service. So not only does Jordan, now we got a call here. Hang on, caller. Not only does Jordan go out and slaughter the animal, but he comes back and cuts it up, cuts the meat up, and he knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. What's he doing there?
Right there, he's boning out the shoulder. So he'll be getting prepared, depending upon if the customer wanted roasts or steaks, he'll prepare it for roast for steaks.
How does he know what to cut and where to cut it and how to cut it?
He's now been working with some experienced butchers that we have. Bill McCann, who is my partner in our classes that we do, came in originally and trained him. He worked with Bill. And then my head butcher, Steve Merritt, is very experienced, 30 years in the business, and had his own family butcher shop, as well as worked for Fresno State in their meat lab.
You got to know how to do it. You got to know what you're doing. Caller, are you there?
Hit your button again.
I hit it once. I'm going to disconnect. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You got to turn them up. Did you have a hard time getting through? I just need to ask you.
No, I've never have.
Okay, go ahead. You're on the air. Speak up if you would, please. Thank you.
Okay. Let me ask Scott something. Just a couple of questions here. Do you have your own in-home inspection as far as the meat cutting process, final process? Because I know a lot of them do, but at the same time, a lot of them don't. I could see that your cutters, of course they use a knife and the hooks to get, the meat across. But it's not to downgrade anybody, but I think a lot of the places where you go and see the meat cut and all that have a problem sometimes with E. coli and all that. I should know because I used to be an inspector. But besides that, and then number 2, what you ought to do also, just to give an idea, is get a catering truck and the sandwiches, tri-tip and all that. There's a lot of companies and a lot of people would buy it. Have a special area where there's a lot of people there, and start small.
Okay. Want to respond?
Inspections. We are state inspected. They come in frequently and check out all of the custom animals. They'll go through and check carcasses. They'll check the internals to make sure that they are edible. We also are inspected by our county, and other than that, the inspection is just...
How often do they come in?
The state comes in more frequently than the county, and as well as we also have the Department of Fish and Game that comes in and does inspections with in regards to wild game. That we
Once a month, or?
Once a month for the state.
Yeah, they come in. Do they come in unannounced?
They do.
Much?
They do.
Okay.
And the inspectors are fantastic. They come in, they inspect the entire facility, they check our packaging, they check our logs, and everything to do with those animals that are being done for other people.
Right. All right. Scott Chase is our guest here, owner of Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. Hope you can call in without any problems today. 436-MeTV option 11. Call in. Focus today is on business. We're back in just a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. Erica Parsons was 13 when she disappeared. She was last seen in Salisbury, North Carolina in November of 2011. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 16. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678.
Frigidaire. It means the first refrigerator. It means a history of innovations that help make your home life better. And now we introduce the new Frigidaire French door refrigerator with over 100 ways to organize for maximum flexibility. Built with adjustable flip-up and slide under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Okay, back here on the program today, the focus on business, and we're talking about the business of Madera. Chase's Chop Shop, of course, been around since 1948, but our guest today has owned and operated it for roughly 5 years, and we're pleased he is here today. And trying to pick up a little bit with the last caller, let's roll a videotape, and I'll ask that question. Cutting the meat, number 2. And let me ask you the question, Scott, about the inspectors coming in. They have to do that with just about every store, every, meat cutting operation such as yours. How do you avoid bacteria? How do you avoid E. coli bacteria? It's so easy, I guess, to spread that disease once it hits. How do you avoid it altogether?
Well, our sanitation process is probably, the first step to anything. We have a full-time sanitation worker that takes care of our cut room and our entire facility. And typically the quantity of animals we're doing doesn't lend itself towards E. coli because we're not doing 1,000 animals a day. We're doing few animals. We're very custom. We do it specifically so you don't lend yourself out to having the opportunity to have E. coli introduced to into the.
How many are you doing a day? How many animals would you say, roughly speaking? Not an exact number.
Yeah,
but
during September and October through the fair, we'll do Madera Fair, and we'll also do Fresno Fair. We'll be doing 15 hogs a day, 20 hogs a day.
And that's really not enough to lend itself to E. coli or any other bacteria. Do you have to worry about other diseases besides E. coli?
We've never really had any problems with any type of outbreak like that, and we just don't anticipate having anything like that just because of, like I said, the small scale of what we do.
Yeah.
We just don't see it.
Look at the meat that's being cut here. What is this? What's going on here?
That
went out, but that's okay. Tell us what we saw there.
I believe he was cutting up the shoulder at that point into roasts.
Okay, we got some more meat cutting video to show you out at Scott Chase's place. It's called the Chop Shop out there in Madera, and there it is inside the meat cutting room here. And you can just kind of look at the video and describe, what we're looking at here. And there is definitely an art, and you have to have the experience and the knowledge. How do you gain that knowledge about what to cut and where to cut it and how to cut it?
You have to get experienced butchers to teach you. It is definitely
an art
that, and if you look in the right-hand side there, you have my butcher there. That's Steve Merritt. He actually, like I said, a family butcher for
hang on, caller,
for over 30 years, and was at Fresno State in their meat lab. So we have a great experienced butcher to teach us what we need to know.
Yeah. How long does it take to perfect cutting a piece of meat?
That's an interesting question. I don't know that I've perfected it yet. I mean, I think there's always more that you can gain, the more you can learn. My son is been doing this for about 2 years, and he is probably the quickest learner I've ever seen.
Really? Better than you?
When it comes to carcass butchery, he is better than me.
He is better than you?
He is better than me.
Great admission there by our guest today. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with Scott Chase.
Yeah, a couple questions is wondered what kind of wrapping do you wrap the meat up for freezers? And also, do you happen to marinate your meat by chance for customers? And I'll take listing it on the TV.
Okay, yes, we vacuum pack. Everything we do is vacuum packed. We find that for the customer, it gives it the longest life and the best product that you can get out of the freezer. So we are solely a vacuum pack facility. We do not paper wrap whatsoever for custom. Now, marinated, we do lots of marinated products. That's actually one of the things that our customers love most about our facility is that we come in and we have custom marinades that we put together that are absolutely fantastic out of the bag. You need to do nothing other than put it on your barbecue.
Yeah. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Scott Chase is here. Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. You can call in on this live program, 436-MeTV, option 11. And we're glad you're with us. Say, by the way, we're at the halfway point of the program here. And if you want to call in and weigh in, if you're having problems calling in, if you're being kicked out of the system, let us know because we want to fix the problem here. Our telephone system, if there is such a problem at Connect With Me. In the meantime, hey, I want to tell you just quickly, tomorrow's guest is Steve Wright. He is the Assistant District Attorney here in Fresno County, so interesting program coming your way. I'll take this phone call and put it on hold and take a break. Caller, hang on for a moment. I'm going to take a quick break, come back here on Connect With Me in just a moment.
Euronews, most-watched news channel in Europe.
We need help to find this missing child. Delano Wilson was 1 month old when he went missing. He was last seen in Indianapolis, Indiana, August 27th of 2014. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Delano Wilson home.
Back here on the program, Connect With Me. I got a caller on the line. I'm going to ask him to hold just for a minute just so we can get through this disclaimer here, and let's put it up on the screen. We're glad to focus on business here when we can on Tuesdays on Connect With Me because Ventura TV has been here since 1951 doing great business, trying to serve its customers, and we try to help businesses along the way here in the Central Valley, trying to carve out their niche, my friend. And speaking of carving, yeah, we're doing a little carving today of our own in the old-fashioned butcher shop, so I just want to mention Scott Chase came here of his own free will, and we're not paying him, he's not paying us, we're just featuring his butcher shop here on our program today. We're glad that he is here. Glad you're here, Scott. You got a wonderful demeanor about you, and you got a wonderful family over there. Your wife and daughter are there. Your 2 sons are back there holding the fort down for you in Madera. What else could you ask for in life?
That's true.
Life doesn't get much better, right?
That's right.
All right. Caller, you're on the line. Go ahead with Scott Chase.
Yes, I remember back when I was a kid, my dad was a grocery store manager, and they would have sawdust on the bottom or in the meat lockers area where they actually did the butchery. 2 quick questions. One is, what type of knives do you use? Is there a specific, brand or that? And also, they recently changed the names of the different cuts on the pork versus beef. Could you just highlight that? Thank you.
Okay, great. Which one do you want to tackle first there, Scott? What kind of knives do you use?
Knives. I'm not particular to any particular brand.
Okay. You don't use anything special, huh? Just an... Regular butcher knife, right?
I do, and they're really not an expensive knife. They're about $20, and they are fantastic.
Where do you buy them? I'm curious.
We buy them from California Butcher Supply.
Okay.
Which is a butcher supply house, obviously, but
$20 a piece is nothing.
No, they're actually, and they're fantastic. I have a very nice set of knives at my house that are much more expensive, and my $20 knives are absolutely wonderful.
Well, what are you doing buying expensive knives for the house when you?
Yeah, well, that was prior to
Whose
the
call is that?
Prior to the butcher shop, I'll tell you that.
All right, so you have a little more experience with knives now, right?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, okay. So you don't juggle them, do you?
Oh no, try not to. That's for sure.
All right. The other question by the caller was the names of the cuts for pork and beef.
You know, they rotate through names. USDA, as regions come up with a new name for something, they will
really
introduce it. Yeah, it's kind of. It's
so
kind
who
of
makes up the names? Is it the USDA?
You know, I honestly don't know who actually makes the name up, as much as I believe that regionally you'll see people introduce something, a cut that has not really been out before, and they'll start naming it, and the USDA will have to then evaluate whether or not that cut should it be its own classification.
What are the cuts that you're familiar with that are common to all of us? Like, give me a half a dozen.
Oh, I mean, beef-wise, you have, your ribeye, your rib steak,
Right.
New York steak, filet.
And those don't change. Those have been around since I've been alive, almost.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, they've been around for years, decades.
Absolutely.
So those names haven't changed. Give us some new ones, maybe, that have come along.
Something new that you'll see at our shop would be a Denver steak.
Okay, a Denver steak.
Denver steak. It's a fantastic, inexpensive cut, tender, comes out of the chuck, and it's, like I said, it's just something you're not going to find most places.
Wow, that's interesting. Hey, talking about the packaging before we went to break, let's roll the videotape, packaging the meat, and you talked about, just the way you guys package. You don't use paper, you don't use the Ziploc bags. What do you use? Vacuum pack, right?
Use vacuum pack, yes.
Okay, why?
The longevity and freshness of the meat is better through the vacuum machine. Here's where she's getting ready to seal it. So we find that just typically for our customers is the best option, where they can take it out of the freezer and it's the freshest.
Okay, but you can't do this in large chunks, because then you have to break the vacuum pack, and how do you re-vacuum pack it, at home?
Well, for us, I mean, our goal is to, satisfy the customer. This hog that's being wrapped right here is a family of 4. So we're packaging everything in 4s. So for us, the idea is to actually have our customer come in and package it to their family size, to their needs for serving sizes.
And so how long can you keep a piece of meat like this, whether it be chicken, beef, pork, fish? By the way, you don't have fish at your place, do you?
We do have frozen fish.
You do have frozen fish?
We do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So how long can you keep something in the freezer if it's vacuum packed as opposed to a Ziploc?
The specs that we see from the manufacturers of the bags tell us 1.5 to 2 years that you can actually...
With a vacuum pack?
With a vacuum pack.
Really? It's a 1.5 to 2 years?
It's pretty incredible.
If a piece of meat gets freezer burn, what happens? Can you still eat it?
You can. Freezer burn is actually... it affects the taste. It's not doesn't make it poisonous. It doesn't make it. It's just.
You can still eat it.
Absolutely. The quality of it just goes away.
Okay. No quality, but it's not poisonous.
Correct.
You're not going to get E. coli bacteria
No, you should not.
Frozen meat that's got freezer burn.
Yeah. Your bigger concern is frozen that's been defrosted and then put back to the freezer is when you'd run into more of a problem with spoilage in a vacuum bag.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. Well. Yeah, especially if the power goes out at your house, then you got a little problem. I don't know how. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Let me ask you about that, since you know about meat. You have a backup generator in case the power does go out?
We don't have a backup generator, but our freezer box, and actually it's interesting, we're remodeling our freezer right now. Today, they're hopefully going to get the new one fired up. It actually holds temp for, it's been down for 2 weeks nearly on the remodel, and we are still well below 30 degrees in our freezer box right now.
So if your power goes out at your house and you got no power going to the fridge, you don't open that freezer, how long can you go without the power at home for anybody out there watching?
I think typically your average freezer at home is kept at about 0 degrees to -10, and it should hold with the door closed for several days.
Several days?
Yes.
Really? Because I was told up to 4 to 6 hours at the max.
No, the frozen meat itself will keep the box cold inside there, so as long as you're not introducing some warm air to it, it really should hold pretty well.
It should. Okay. Scott Chase is our guest from Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. A lot more video to get to here. A lot of time left in the program for you to call in and weigh in. Talking about Chop Shop cutting meat. 436-MEAT-TV, option 11. Got any problem getting through? Let us know. So far, we've got a few callers. Back in just a moment.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me. And baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Back here on the program with Scott Chase, and caller, go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, I was looking at your program this morning, and I seen you were vacuum sealing your meats.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I was wondering how come the people wasn't wearing hairnets.
The people what now? Oh, hair nets. Okay, that's the question, I guess, from the caller. No hair nets. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice that. Perhaps it may have been a vanity thing with the camera in the room.
An oversight.
Yeah.
Typically, do you wear gloves and all that stuff to protect the meat from that hair nets and all that? In other words, is it a requirement by law? I don't even know.
Gloves are not, and typically we will not use gloves. What we find is that actually proper training with gloves is more difficult than proper training with hand washing.
Is that right?
Yes, people will get...
Can you pick up more bacteria or any bacteria at all with gloves, more so than if you just use your hands?
You can, because when your hands are dirty, you tend to go to the sink and wash them.
Okay.
And after touching things, where if you have a glove on, you may go from one project to the next and not really realize what's on the glove. So we just teach proper hand washing, and we do not like to use gloves.
How long do you wash your hands to get the bacteria out or whatever you want to get off your hands? Because I've heard you have to wash your hands for up to 15 seconds and rinse for another 15.
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds.
It's about 30 seconds, roughly speaking. Okay. Roll the videotape, making sausage #1. And this is one of your specialties, right? Making sausage. How do you do it? What do you do? How many different types of sausages? What kind of sausage here? What's going on? And how do you make it? How are you making the sausage?
This right here is a custom hog that we were doing for processing for one of our customers, so right now I'm putting the casing on our horn. We have an automated machine that actually helps us out with it. We don't actually hand twist anymore just because of the volume of what we're doing.
How does it get twisted then? By machine?
This machine right here will actually pump them out.
Huh. So everything is done by machine now.
Yeah, our twist linker is all done by machine. All of our sausage blends are handwritten recipes that are our own personal recipes.
What's in that sausage there?
I'm trying to recall. I believe that one is a German sausage.
Is that right? What goes in? What's the ingredients? What goes
German's
in there?
going to be it's going to be a pork beef blend. You're going to have salt, pepper. Few other trade secrets in there that makes ours, and we won a state award for this sausage. So
you did? You won a statewide award?
We did.
What year? When was that?
That was actually 3 years ago. Was our first awards that we won from the state. We won one for our German, and we also won one for our Sicilian, which is the Sicilian is my family recipe. It's a 100-year-old recipe.
Okay.
Since we've won state awards every year.
That's pretty amazing. So this is a beef-pork combination, huh, with the German, and you use some pepper there. So basically, you put the ingredients on top there. You put it down, dump it down on the top of that machine there, and then it comes out, right?
Oh, we actually go through and we hand mix all the stuff on the small batches are hand mixed still. Batches that are over 50 pounds or so, we use actually a mixing machine. And so we incorporate everything into that mixing machine along with whatever liquids that we're using, and it will actually mix it for us.
You vacuum pack that too?
We do. It's a little more challenging. You do have to make sure that the sausage is very cold or a little par frozen so you can get the vacuum to pull without squishing the sausage.
All right, making the sausage. Let's go to videotape number 2. A rather long piece of videotape here, but that's okay. Here it is. You're dumping the ingredients here. Is this the Italian sausage here that you're making?
That
or
is
no?
That one is a Sicilian, and we'd already had it mixed into the lugger there. And it's a small batch. Like I said, it's for a custom hog that we're processing, so it's about a 10-pound batch.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. And so we'll go through it for our customer, and when instead of getting a breakfast sausage, they'll elect to get some of our link sausages.
Right. Why do people like your sausage?
I think every culture, every generation, everybody always has a sausage recipe. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from. There's sausage that's being made, and I think that what it does is it brings people back to their childhood. Their parents, everybody had a sausage and something in their family that revolved around it.
Yeah. And so you come from an Italian background, right?
I do.
So it was prevalent in your family growing up?
Yes, the Sicilian sausage has just been a staple in my life since I can remember.
Yeah. And so you didn't grow up here in Fresno, right?
No, I'm from the coast originally.
What part?
Monterey Salinas area.
Monterey Salinas. And what brought you here?
My wife.
Okay. She's from Fresno?
She's from Madera.
She's from Madera.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you guys moved here when?
We moved here in 92.
1992. So you've been here for a while. And what did you do prior to the purchase of this property here in this shop, this business?
I was in the irrigation business.
Okay. And what prompted you to get into the food industry? I mean, that's a completely different animal.
It's,
pardon the pun, but
yeah, it is. We just were looking for something where we could have a little different interaction, when you get done at the end of the day, people are going home and feeding their family with a product that you put out, and it's a satisfying feeling knowing that you can put something on somebody's table.
Yeah, here you are packaging the sausage here, right? Is that the packaging video?
That is packaging.
Oh, it's not. Okay. But you are...
They're pre-packaging right there.
Pre-packaging, okay.
It's getting put into the vacuum bags.
Oh, okay. So you're making it by size, okay? How many do you want in? How many do you put in there at one time? It depends on what the request is or what?
Yeah, typically family requests will do whatever size that they would like, but if you're going to buy it out of our meat case, typically you're going to have a four-pack, which is roughly a pound of sausage.
Okay, and what does that cost, would you say?
The
package of 4.
Package of 4 ranges between $4.99 a pound and $6.99 a pound.
Okay, and that's pretty average across the board?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so is there an art form to packaging the meat here?
That's been a challenge that we had to learn. Like I said, with you have to have it just the right hardness so that way you can actually vacuum it down. Otherwise, the packaging looks terrible and it squishes the sausage.
You don't want it squished because it's going to ruin the taste, the flavor, what?
You eat with your eyes first.
So you don't want a squished sausage. Hey, let's do a quick email question before we go to break. Standing rib roast this Christmas, how much advance notice would you need to have that roast in stock, ready to go for the holidays? Whether it be Christmas, whether it be Thanksgiving, whether it might be Halloween, I don't know, who knows?
We typically have them in stock year-round, but Christmas time we actually start taking our orders December 1st.
Really?
Yeah, we will do a large portion of rib roast, and so we start taking orders December 1st. Allocation for getting that many roasts is very difficult. So.
That's amazing. All right, let's go to a break. 436 Meat TV, option 11. Back with Scott Chase in a moment.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy. The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, ma'am. Frank Poncherello. Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Take a look at this.
Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
Okay, let's, before we move on here with some more videotape, Scott, where is your business located? It is called Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. Give us a cross street.
We're on Olive Avenue. If you exit off on the Highway 145 exit, Olive Avenue is right off the exit there, and we're about 5 blocks down.
What's the address?
412 West Olive Avenue.
In Madera. Okay, and your phone number is?
674-6247.
Okay, and it's an automated system, right? You got to listen to the message before you punch in a
Absolutely.
number, right?
All the departments have their own little code there, so you can get the catering or the meat counter, butcher, just by dialing the extension.
Okay, and one more time, the phone number is?
674-6247.
Okay. All right. Some more videotape, and we'll take a look at some more sausage here. All set to go. The various types of sausage that you can get at Chase's Chop Shop, already packaged and in the freezer right there. And so, this is kind of like going to Save Mart or Costco. It's all ready to go. You just go in there, grab it, and run, right?
That's right.
So, how many different types do you have in there?
We do have 52 different ones. That freezer case there doesn't actually house all of them, so some of them we'll have to get from our other freezers. Yeah.
So you have 52 different types of sausages.
Yes, and growing, unfortunately.
And how do you have time to make all that? And as a customer, you walk in, you're saying, how do I know what how do I know what I want? How do I know what half of these taste like?
Well, I think that's where we have the time and availability to talk to our customers. We know what exactly they're looking for, whether they're looking for a spicy, whether they're looking for Italian, or a German, a kielbasa. You really want to listen to what the customer has to say and see what might work for what they're doing.
All right, and so let's roll a videotape on ground beef. We have that as well. So when you look at ground beef these days, how many people are actually coming in asking for ground beef as opposed to choosing something that many would say would be more healthy, like chicken or fish?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the video. The video is actually ground pork is what they're grinding right there.
They're grounding pork? Okay, that's pork?
That is
beef,
pork.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Hey, pork, beef, it's all the same, right? Or pork is not really beef.
That's correct. Yeah.
It's not meat, right?
It's the other white meat.
Yeah, it's the other white meat, but it's not real meat. Real meat's red meat.
There you go.
How many people coming in? By the way, what's going on there?
She's actually running through the grinder right there. You'll double grind it before you mix it into a sausage.
Okay, so that's another part of the sausage making process,
which is
on a different type of machine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the grinder. And this is the same thing you'll do with the ground beef. When people come in for our ground beef, the reason why that you'd want to come to a small butcher shop like ours is each one of these our ground beef trays is actually one whole muscle. It's not a bunch of trim from 1,000 different animals. So we actually take one piece of meat.
Okay.
We grind it, put it on a tray, and when that sells out, we grind again. It's not a mixture of meats.
Where if you're going to a box store, you're getting a mix of different things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're getting trim from everything they've done all day long.
Wow, from many different animals, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Seasoning the ribs, let's roll the videotape here. Quite a few to get to before we end the program today, and very little time, so got about 3 left here. You're seasoning the ribs here? What is this? What's going on?
This is our vacuum tumbling machine. It's a machine that it rotates, which as the meat's in there, it tenderizes it, and it pulls a vacuum. The vacuum will actually pull the marinades throughout the entire meat rather than just getting a surface marinade.
Okay, so you're actually seasoning here.
Seasoning and marinating. And the advantage for a shop like mine is that a piece of meat that you might stick in your refrigerator to marinate overnight, I can marinate it in about 45 minutes and have the flavor all the way through the entire meat.
Okay, so it's the same process as leaving it overnight.
Yeah.
Marinating it overnight. Okay, so that's what that machine is right there. How many people coming in, by the way, the question asked before, you have a lot of healthy people nowadays that want to eat healthy. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they don't want to eat beef. They don't want to eat pork. They want to eat chicken. They want to eat fish. How many of those customers do you have coming in asking for that?
We have quite a few customers that come in for chicken and fish. Our chickens
Hang on, caller. Go ahead.
Our chickens are very popular. We have several marinated chicken products that, I mean, are very hard to keep in stock because the customers just love the different marinades.
Yeah, and that's marinated right there. All that meat right there is marinated.
Those are the pork ribs right there that are coming out.
So what? Before we get to the call here, what's the percentage chicken and fish versus meat, regular meat, red meat?
I would say chicken's probably about 35%. Fish is only still probably 5 to 10%.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're on the air with Scott Chase, and let's roll the videotape while you're talking. Kitchen number 1. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Gary. How's it going? Long time no see. I have some questions on how they maintain their hairdo. Do they wear hairnets within the establishment? I'm kind of like seeing it kind of dingle down a little bit.
All right, Scott, you pick it up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Typically in the production rooms and that, there'll be hairnets worn or hats.
Okay. Anything else, caller? Go ahead. Oh, he's gone. That was quick. Okay. Well, we talked about that before, the hairnets, but typically you do wear hairnets, right? Typically.
That is correct.
All right. This is your kitchen here. What's going on? What are you making there?
This is our kitchen during lunch. And what we have there is my wife, Melissa's on the grill. And
Okay.
You've got my daughter and then Crystal, one of our catering manager.
Okay.
Prepping everything there for orders going out.
I see. And how difficult is this to keep this place up and running?
Oh, it's definitely a challenge.
Is it 24/7?
It has been. We've spent the last 5 years remodeling. Inheriting a 1940s building is definitely a challenge, and we're still in the process of remodeling after 5 years. Just anything we possibly we can afford. We try to bring it up to, state-of-the-art facility.
What are you remodeling inside?
Currently, we're remodeling the old freezer.
Okay.
And that freezer was actually the compressor from that freezer was from the 50s, and so
Okay.
we are going through putting some new walls in and new compressors, which will enhance the freezing process and speed it up. Because when you're freezing something, what you're looking for is the fastest freezing time possible.
What are the other things that you're remodeling besides that?
We've remodeled, at this point, we're very fortunate. We got the front of the store remodeled. We tiled the entire front. We have all new flooring in the front. The cutting room that you've seen many videos of, that was one of our first projects. That room didn't exist when we bought the building. It was an abandoned freezer. And so we created that with refrigeration, which is something in the custom meat lockers isn't common.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, we're out of time, sadly, but give the address one more time.
It's 412 West Olive in Madera.
Okay, 412 West Olive in Madera. And the phone number is 674-6247. Is that it?
That is correct.
Okay, so get out there and check it out. Chase's Chop Shop in Madera. Scott Chase, the owner. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
And much success. Good luck out there.
I appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Hey, tomorrow's program, we have Steve Wright, the Assistant District Attorney here in Fresno County, to talk about the new animal cruelty unit that they created within the DA's system. We'll talk about Lisa Smitkamp and one of the rape cases that Steve himself is working on personally. We'll talk about that, and we'll take your phone calls. Remember, if you got any problems with the phones, call us, let us know. Back tomorrow. Have a good day.